Hey everybody in Wonderland, this is Todd 4 with another episode of HouTube. Today we're not going to talk about Houdini, but we're going to talk about an application that I use quite a bit called Krita. Krita is an alternative to Photoshop. It's free and it's available on Windows, Linux, and PC. So that is always a, it's always great, because when I'm in a facility and can't get me Photoshop in Linux, sometimes people can do that, but a lot of times they can't. It's too much of a hassle. It's nice to have a nice painting alternative. And so this is Krita. We're going to create a new file. There's a bunch of different presets. We'll grab just a 1K texture and create. And if you notice, it's just like, it looks a lot like Photoshop. There's some navigational stuff you should know. So middle click moves things around. A modifier key and middle click and drag up and down will move things in and out, right? And it takes a little getting used to. Middle click and left click will be will be a kind of color picker. Right now I'm just gonna fill this layer. This will be my new background. I'm gonna fill it with a nice blue, and I should be able to do that by clicking on this, select all, pick a color, something in here, something nice, and actually we'll pick something nice and kind of darkish, a darkish kind of nighty color, and fill that in. Probably too saturated, something a little bit darker, maybe a little bit more on the blue end. Okay, something like that, something that looks like nighttime. And I'm going to create Apple Shift A will get rid of that. Just for fun, we'll create a new layer. I think I'm in isolate layer mode, so we'll turn that off. B will give you a brush. Shift gives you the size of the brush. I and O will be the opacity. O for more opacity. I, the key that's right next to it, for less opacity. And if we pick a color, something like this, you can see we can paint. Just like anything else. If you right click in here, you get different choices of paint brushes to paint with. You can pick blurry brushes, and they've got these magic brushes. And if you go down here, there's a whole bunch of brush palettes. I don't know how to necessarily put your favorite ones in here, but they're here, and you can pick certain colors. You can get your color wheel in here, all nice and good. I don't want this layer, so I'm going to delete it right now. One of the things that I was doing was using layer. I came across an issue that is a little different than Photoshop and was a little frustrating to me, which was using layer transparency mask. And to demonstrate what I'm talking about, I'm going to go grab a stencil off the web. I was making a logo for a website, and I was having a little bit of an issue with this, and it frustrated me for a little while until I could figure it out. Now this lightning bolt, I don't have any right to use it, so this is just for an example, but in a demonstration. And if I bring this lightning bolt in and I right click on it and I go convert to transparency mask, you'll see I get a transparency mask of this thing straight away, and that works great. If I take this transparency mask and I isolate, and I click on this, I go Control T, I should be able to scale this transparency mask in there like that. And if we turn it back on, turn off the isolate again so we can see what we're doing. You'll notice that we kind of get a black on white. Now, this transparency mask got added to my night color. I didn't want that. So I'm going to make a new layer, and I'm going to make it something like a yellow color, and I'm going to grab this transparency mask and just drag it right onto that one, and now I've applied it to that one. But it's inverted. It's the opposite of what I want. So right click on this, isolate this mask. So I'm only working on the transparency mask. I'm going to fill in the white areas, and if I hit DX, I'll get the white. Shift Delete fills it. Shift Delete fills it, Shift Delete fills it, and Shift Delete fills it. And then Apple Shift A in Krita to get rid of your selections. Now if I hit Control Apple T, or modifier key somewhere else, and I can kind of like I can do all sorts of nice little nice little deformations on this. There's a lot of tutorials out there on how to use the transform tool in Krita. It's very nice, I got to say. I like it a lot. This is kind of a more interesting thing of our lightning bolt, so I'll go something like that. Again, now I gave myself all this extra white space, so we'll fill this in again. Shift D and a little bit over here, and I can use this tool to click, double click, and shift and Apple Shift A. Get rid of that, turn it back on, get rid of the isolate layer, turn this back on. It's still inverted, so go back to our isolate again, just this guy, filter, adjust. You'll notice that there's an invert or it's, modify key I, so we'll modify key I that. And now what we should see when I turn isolate layer back off is a yellow lightning bolt in on a night sky. And if I click this now and hit Apple T, I can scale this whole layer down, right? And both of them move at the same time. And that's nice. Okay. Well, it looks like we have a little bit of extra stuff here, and it'd be nice to just be able to go like this and D, X, Shift, X, Shift. Yeah, there we go. All right. So that's our alpha mask. Now, this is cool if it's graphic, but I was trying to put an image behind this in my example that I was doing from home. So let's go grab a background image, and if I picked one out here, somebody turned me on to this website called Pexels, which is a place where you can grab free images. I don't know why they're free, but I guess they're free. So I found this nice image with this lightning bolt. So I'm going to download that, and it downloads to my folder. You notice that. I can take this, drag it right into Krita, insert as new layer. Did I do that right? Maybe not. So drag this in, insert as new layer, and I get this great big image. And if I hit Control T on that, we'll see that it's super massive. So we're going to have to scale this in, scale it in something like this. We'll just scale it for that for now. Boom. Zoom in. And I would like to put the layer mask, the transparency mask on this. So for now, I'm going to duplicate this one and just drag it right on top of that, and it gets applied right on top. Very cool. Now what I'd like to do is I would like to adjust the background image. I want to keep the transparency mask the same, but I want to adjust the background image of so I see more of the lightning bolts in the shape. And in order to do that, this is a little bit maybe counterintuitive. I need to lock the transparency mask, and I need to turn it off, right? And then if I hit Control and then click, make sure I'm clicking on the one I want to transpose, it's this one. Now if I hit Control T and click on it, I can start seeing down below as I see my old yellow one. So that helps me kind of figure out where this needs to be. But I'm going to do a little bit of this. I'm going to get those lightning bolts right. Oops. Scale them in. I'm going to get them right. Maybe scale it and fold it back a little bit more. Move them up like that a little bit. That's kind of neat. Let's see, maybe scale it in just a little bit more. Scale it in just a little bit more. So now if I take this and I turn this back on, you'll notice that the lightning bolt is right in the same place as you know, the lightning bolt didn't change. Now if I take this and I hit Control T on it, right? Now you'll notice that both the lightning bolt and this thing both changed. Escape. So if you have this turned on, it will change this whole thing together. Now I think there's also a way of taking both of these guys. So like, let's say I wanted this guy to just be, you know, part transparency on top of the yellow. You know, so it's still very much a you know, still had a lot of yellow hue. And I wanted to make adjustments on both of them at the same time. I think there's a way of taking these guys and grouping them. So I don't know if I make a quick group. And I think now if we do that and we click on, so they should be grouped together, and I click on this top layer and I group that, they all move together now, which is really nice. Anyway, oops, screwed something up. Undo. They should all move together. Anyway, that was my little demonstration on using layer mask inside of Krita. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you learned something. Cheerio!